A lot of women, we kind of be like, oh no, don't let the male look at us, don't let the male look at us. But there is some kind of subconsciousness is when a guy's like, oh, you're hot.
Straight away, I'm like, great, I'm the only one in heels today. I'm the tallest. And like all of that comes from society.
Just as soon as you like stand up for something and say something, you're a bitch. But if you don't say anything, then you're a pushover. It's literally a lose-lose situation.
I would rather have a career than have children. Like it would really be, and you know, sorry, but like.
Yeah.
Women can have it all: career, family, and personal balance.
In retrospect, a woman can do anything that she sets herself out to do. However, I think that comes down to like a privilege and also a situation where you can't just always do everything. Yes, you can have goals and set yourself up where you want to go, but it's not always going to be possible for everyone just to have all three.
Yeah, I'm a mother and I also am like have high career aspirations and stuff. And so I think it is absolutely possible, but I think like you said, privilege is like huge. Yeah. I think like having community is huge too, but of course like as a woman, we're able to do that. Like it takes a village to like raise kids. Yeah, I think you just have to want it, you know? So I think it's very possible.
But even if you want it, there's only 24 hours in a day, right?
For sure.
So like you have to balance, and sometimes balancing means something else is going to get less of your time and attention.
Yeah, I think you have to be strategic, right?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to speak on the fact that I think it's probably going to become clearer throughout this episode how our opinions are shaped by how we all grew up separately. Like my mom did not like, shout out to basically her raising me as a single mom, even though she was married and like didn't really have his help and everything. So I really watched a woman like struggle so hard just to do like the bare minimum momming. Not to sound pessimistic, I'm like, yeah, rah, like we can hope to have it all, but I just feel like, I just think of this, I think it was Shonda Rhimes who said like, if I'm winning here, I'm failing in this department.
So I have to agree with her on that aspect because, you know, I do believe women could have it all if they worked for it. But that's just more of what we're aiming for today. Women are a lot stronger today than they were back then. Mm-hmm. And the thing is I was raised by a single mother. My dad, yes, I had a relationship with my dad, but my dad went to prison when I was a child. Mm-hmm. And that left myself with, at the time, you know, 3 additional siblings who I ended up taking up the role and taking care of them and doing that while she went to go work to support us and have a career. She didn't have the luxuries that we get to have today. I learned how to survive pretty young. I learned that survival was of the fittest. And I had to be something and do something to make sure that everybody else was sustained, but I had to learn how to take care of myself, which I'm still struggling with now. I was a mortician, okay? I had the career.
Right.
And I also had the kids.
Right.
So I was out of the house 24/7. Okay, I had to, getting calls at all hours, it didn't matter. And I had to get up and go because somebody else's needs took over mine.
Right.
And even though I wanted to be home and support my children and see them grow up and thrive, I couldn't get that because I needed to keep the roof over their heads, the food in their bellies, the gas in the car so they can go to school. And that is hard.
Right.
It's still hard today.
So I think for me, it's a matter of defining what it means having it all, right? Does having it all mean I have to be at the top of my career? I have to be submitting, you know, 50 hours a week? Because for me, when I was doing that, I wasn't happy and I wasn't mothering the way that I wanted to mother. And so I believe I achieved having it all. It just wasn't, it didn't look like what I thought it was gonna look like.
Right.
So I will, in the least emotional way possible that I can manage, try to share that I made a very personal, very difficult decision for myself to put my daughter up for adoption. Because as someone who came from a household that was like super broken and basically being raised by a single mom, then having it flip where like now I'm the single mom and the father is like super not helpful. I like super tried to make it work like for months. Like I had this remote job that makes like taking care of my daughter at home like easier, but like it super wasn't. Like I'm like taking calls and like she's on me feeding, and then like oop, blew out the diaper, gotta like, hey, finish this, whatever. It was super hard. Like I don't think I've ever been broken yet opened and humbled in that way. And I had to figure out for myself, like, I watched my mom struggle still to this day in a way that's actually really breaks my heart, because it's like she's trying, like I can really visibly see how she tries to convince herself that she's not struggling, even though I'm like, you don't even seem really happy yourself. Like you can't even really convince yourself that you're okay with the life that you're living right now. So I was just super fearful of going down a similar path. So yeah, I made like a super radical, super not supported decision within my West African household. But if you have the support or some kind of support system, sure, I think it's more feasible for you to imagine like, oh, I can have it all. Like I have help, people will be able to come in and out. But it's you and that baby alone all day long, 24/7. Like mama got tired. And I really just was like, at some point I'm gonna wake up and either like my life or hate it. And it's literally based on choices I make. And I don't have it all. I was 15 going to 2 colleges and high school, like overloaded. It was a really big decision. It's one I went back and forth on it for years, but I don't know. I'm like, I think I've just started to like make peace with this decision I made, putting all my faith that she is living a life that I wish I could have provided for her if I'd had the help and resources. And I'm okay. Like, I'm actually okay too, which I really needed to be okay, you know? I'm here and I'm amazing grace, and I will continue trying till the day I die.
Yeah, I just like to chime in on that as someone that doesn't have it all. I've wanted a kid for a very, very long time. I'm still young, but like literally crying in high school, like I want to have a kid. But then I wanted to, you know, finish school also. And I had to pick out of those 2, and I decided to finish school. So I actually graduated Sunday. So yeah, got a BA. Yes, but do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel extra happy about it? Do I feel like I have everything I want? No, but I hold it off because I know how much having a child can be taxing on a woman, and I just want to make sure I'm ready for that. As you know, as you just said, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I just feel like people don't see how hard that can be on a woman. And as women, we want to be able to do it all. We want to have it all. We want everything in the world, and we deserve everything in the world. But again, it's just like 24 hours in the day. Do we have a village? Do we have the support? Do we have these things? And a lot of the time, the answer is no.
Yeah.
I often compare myself to other women.
Oh no.
As a person that was very skinny growing up, didn't weigh 100 pounds until after I graduated high school, would drink Ensures, would do the glute workouts, do everything. Trying to get thick has been a big thing of mine because, again, social media shows that's what is appealing. I was very self-conscious about myself a lot of the time because I would get the comments, eat a cheeseburger, are you eating? And I didn't want to show my body. I always wore jeans, I always wore long sleeves or cardigans growing up. My mom would always be like, you know, you need to gain weight, or she'll see my friends gaining weight. Oh, she's developing, or, you know, maybe you had a little bit more weight on you. It was always comments like that. I know we know about the male gaze. I feel like a lot of women, we kind of be like, oh no, don't let the male look at us, don't let the male look at us. But there is some kind of subconsciousness is when a guy's like, oh, you're hot. You're like,
Yes.
you're like, oh, thank you. So
It makes me so sad though, like to see you guys all on the agree line, because I do feel like because I didn't grow up with social media, a lot of that has allowed me to grow and to embrace who I am in all forms and shapes. And I do think that there's so much pressure that you guys face to look like this person, to have this perfect shape. And truthfully, like, we're not all built that way. We're just not. So learning to embrace like who we are and what we are is important.
I feel like as women, we look on the internet and we're like, dang, she's bad. But again, we don't know what's going on mentally, because she can be posting, sucking in, you know, popping out everything, but mentally she can be struggling.
I wanted to jump in on that, like, specific point is when we had to move just then, I was like, okay, I'm going this way, but really I want to go this way.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm like 2 people, because I'm like Instagram baddie, that's like with all those girls and like loving myself sick some days, but then how like anxiety and pressure works is I'll be like, I'm bad, I look good, and I'll walk into a room. Straight away, I'm like, great, I'm the only one in heels today. I'm the tallest, so now I'm going to stand out even more. And like all of that comes from society, because instead of that being a confidence and an embrace, that's something that's been broken over me. So people that want to bring me down will straight away be like, oh, do you play basketball? You're so tall. Negative connotation versus like someone that's like, wow, you're tall, you're a supermodel, is like you said.
That's the first thing I thought.
Yeah, that's also the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
As we keep using the word compare, I'm thinking about, y'all probably heard this, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It really is. There are two Graces in this room, but you are not like me and I'm not like you in the best way
But we're both
possible.
amazing, Grace.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Amazing Grace. Gotta differentiate myself.
Being a mother is more fulfilling than having a career.
So I actually left my career in the fashion industry so I could be with my kids more, and I took like a part-time job and really like, yeah, sacrificed that. So for me, it has been more fulfilling, but I also can acknowledge that that's like every individual's decision. That's not, you know, we're all entitled to feel different things.
I'm on the far side of disagree, because I feel like some of the people that I've seen value their careers so much and really dominated in that have had deep regret of not standing in their feminine energy and mothering, and live with regret that they can't then get rid of. And I feel like that's something that until it happens, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
I would like to add to that, because I think it's more so like we look at the grass is greener on the other side. Your kids are your kids. Even if you adopt them, even if you surrogate, whatever you do, but they're your kid, and you're like, I guess you have something to show that you were putting your work into and putting your time into, and it's a person, it's a soul, it's a mushy brain that you're creating to be a person.
Can I kind of like pinpoint something you said a little bit? Like, you were saying like, oh, like you kind of can see this result of like a person, of like a brain, but can you also see that result in like what you've done in your career, the impact that you've made on others in the world that aren't your kid? Like, you know, I feel like...
I totally agree, because again, got my bachelor's degree, very happy about my piece of paper that I have, my bachelor's degree, you know? But again, it's the sense of like, this is a being, and I feel like a being and a soul is much more than a piece of paper.
Like, I'm kind of on the fence on both right now, because I've had the career and I've had the kids. And I've had the kids when I was in my peak of my career, right in the beginning and all of that. You know, you can still be a mom and you can still have the kids, but here's the thing. Your kids are separate people from you.
Right.
And you still need to take care of yourself. And sometimes it's reachable, sometimes it's not, but that's what we were talking about earlier. It's like, you gotta find it.
So I think the question is one more fulfilling,
Yeah, I
right,
think so.
than the other? And
I'm struggling because I don't think one is more fulfilling than the other.
so I did somewhat disagree, because I think they're apples and oranges to a
Right.
certain point, right? There are things that once you have a child, you cannot control. You can mold and shape this being to the best of your ability, but ultimately they have their own mind, they have their own will.
And they're gonna have their own career.
I'm just standing here in the middle because I'm confused. Like, I watched my mom be a mother, not a very good one, no offense, no tea, no shade, but like real talk, and have a career, and neither fulfilled her. I'm also not fully saying like that, like, oh, I would rather have a career than have children. Like, it would really be, and you know, sorry, but like, this is all like a super, you know, sensitive topic, just motherhood in general, but especially what you said about like hanging out with your daughter. I don't know, like, to a point of what you were saying earlier about like the investment you make in another human being. I think that the humanitarian in me agrees with that, that like, if there's a way I can leave a legacy of my time here on earth, like, I'm really proud of having had my daughter. And in comparison to that, I'm like, a career, in my personal opinion, is nothing compared to that. Like, the connection you make with a human being in such an intimate way that like only we can literally experience from like you feel this human being like kicking you inside, you know, from your womb and everything. It's like such a wild, intimate, alien-like experience in real life, and it's crazy. So I don't think a career should ever be the thing fulfilling a person, period. That's just my first thing, because as humans, we are like animals that are social, and we need to lean on each other. I don't know what the hell I just said, but
So are you moving over here? Are you moving over here with us?
Because I'm in the same too. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the middle because like I love my kids. Okay, I would do anything for them, but like I do value my career. But both of them, they don't fulfill me. I know that sounds like crazy. Like I can't find a balance because I'm not fully fulfilled yet because my purpose is not done, and I won't get there until I get there, and I won't know what that is unless it's I work this career to support them or teach them how to be fulfilled, and whatever it is that is.
I've stayed in emotionally harmful relationships.
I was in like a domestically violent situation or relationship when I was 15, and the person I was with, like the man I was with, was older than me, and it was like my first like real relationship, and I was very, very naive going into it. The first time that he hurt me physically, I still stayed, even though the entire relationship was very emotionally harmful. But I still stayed just because I was so naive. I didn't know any better. I didn't even know that abusing someone was illegal and you could press charges until like months after the relationship ended. And I shared my story to close friends, and someone was like, you should do something about this, you know? So I definitely will say like I've learned, and I think I've dated other people since then, and my bar just gets higher and higher, which looking back, I am very grateful that I experienced that at a younger age rather than an older age. Like I said, because I had that support system of like friends and family backing me up, helping me press charges against him and get the help I needed to heal from it. Yeah.
What made you stay?
I just like honestly didn't know any better, and I feel like over time he had manipulated me so much to bring my self-worth so low that I thought I really couldn't like survive without him. I couldn't live. Like I was extremely like suicidal and depressed at the time.
Strongly agree as well, because I've been in a similar situation. Like I'm a Pisces, and I'm extremely empathetic, and a lot of the social media realm is really jacking that word gaslighting and narcissism. So it's losing weight, but it really is a real thing. And even if someone isn't a full narcissist on paper, they can have narcissistic qualities. So this emotional abuse that attaches to us, it does get watered down. Like we know what we know and what we should expect, but it doesn't mean you're always gonna have the strength to leave. It doesn't always mean you're gonna be strong straight away. Like how hard does he have to hit me before I leave? Like a lot of these things are real things. And I feel like as a person, it's all about boundaries that I had to create slowly with age to like make myself stronger of how much I'm going to put up with.
I'm so curious, like the women on this side, like have we had that modeled to us in childhood?
For me, it was because I seen it growing up so much because my stepfather wasn't the best to me. Just a disclaimer, he didn't do anything extreme, but enough for me to tell him, you're messing with my mind. And that was the biggest problem for me because I did not know how to express myself from that. If it's messing with my mind, then there's probably something triggering me or there's a red flag there.
I am like so happy and proud of everyone here who's like been through something that we're speaking on it, because I feel like it makes people take women's experiences more seriously. I mean, I guess it's like kind of like the whole Me Too movement, right? But I think a big thing for me was like, will people believe me? And some people didn't. Like I would walk around my high school and people would be like, she's just like saying this for attention, whatever. But there was so many people that were like, I'm so grateful that you spoke up because I couldn't do that. And you, I feel like you were able to like do it for me, kind of. Growing up, I was very like self-conscious, and a lot of my self-esteem was affected, which is why I ended up in such a bad relationship. The way that my dad like treated me and talked to me, especially compared to my brother as a boy, and he had a better relationship with. And because of that, I was naive enough to let someone take advantage of me and push me down and make me feel like I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't strong enough. And I would say it definitely left me with a lot of trust issues and anxiety in relationships. Sometimes I find myself like self-sabotaging in a relationship when I believe it's going too good. It's very difficult for me to open up to people and be vulnerable. And even when I'm with someone for a good amount of time, I will still have a pretty strong wall up.
I think one of the reasons why I'm able to stand on the disagree line is because growing up, my parents were in an emotional and physically abusive relationship, and my mom made the decision to leave. And so it wasn't the first attempt, it was the second attempt that we were actually able to leave. And so for me, it's made all the difference in the world, being able to see it modeled that you can leave, you can get out of this situation.
I would like to just add quickly that I see that you got to see the experience of being able to leave. I didn't get that experience. My parents stayed and kind of blamed me for the reason for staying. And that was a very hard part. I don't mean to get emotional, but that was a hard part because I was just a child and I didn't know how to speak up for myself at the time. All I can say was, you're messing with my mind. Aww. And, again, going back to, you don't want the male to be the only provider because then it relies on that issue. And so, yeah, that's why I just feel like even when the flag's green, I'm like, is it turning red? I'm so like that because my mom didn't get out as soon as she should have. And again, it got blamed on me. But, I'm good now, guys. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
I often apologize for being myself despite doing nothing wrong.
Oh, God. Good for you. What's happening right now?
So I never assume that people know this about me when they meet me because, we live in a world where everyone's different. But I am trans, I'm transgender, and I'm post-op trans, which means I had my full surgery at a very young age. And I feel like it's crazy because I feel like, first of all, I've lived two different worlds. So I quite literally feel like I've lived as a male and then now as a female. But when I had the vision and dream of just becoming who I wanted to be, I was instantly, from then and still till now, challenged on who I am, the validity of being a woman and if that's even acceptable. And now with the way the world is working and people's views upon trans women, we're not necessarily allowed at the table now because we're now separated from that. As a trans woman, the weaknesses that I'm not willing to acknowledge is that I am not allowed to have a seat at the table with biological women. I refuse that statement, and I think that it comes from a hateful, weaponized place. Believe it or not, I actually worked in mining in Australia. I drove massive haul trucks. When I started working in mining, I was told, you can't do that. Like, you're trans, you could be unsafe. Like, they're gonna be against you. And along the way, all these mining guys ended up being able to fully relate to me. And it was really beautiful. At the end of the day, as many struggles as I've had, I love who I am, I'm strong, and being trans is not a weakness, and I deserve to be here. Every day, waking up and going into society, even though I am what they call passable in the community, is still like the most incredible amount of strength that one human would have to have. And I just feel like if you can be like the best ally you can be for us, it's literally sometimes like splitting a hair of like saving a life and actually being there for us, because our days get really dark sometimes. And it's also okay to not be okay, but just like reach out to people when you're not feeling it. And that's okay too. And you all inspire me today, listening and like even answering questions about being a mother. I'm never going to be able to do that. Like, I can't birth children. So that's something I've had to deal with, but that's why like my dog and my ballroom children mean so much to me, because that's my purpose on this earth. And that's something I can do that's special, and also be an incredible auntie. Yeah. And there's so much power in all of that. But as like biological women, like I have so much respect for all of y'all and the journey, and like trans women really are inspired by women, like for real. So yeah.
Women inspire women.
Yeah. Heavy on that.
I do want to segue off of what she's saying, because I'm clearly not a traditional woman and I look like absolutely none of you. Okay, and I think that's very clear. And the women in the LGBTQIA community who even remotely look like me do have to apologize a lot just for existing. But I feel comfortable wearing this. I feel comfortable wearing these clothes because I feel like they fit my body shape. I'm not built traditionally like we were talking about earlier, what a woman should look like. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I don't have biological children either, but I have children. And the thing is I can't have children, even if I wanted to, because I had cancer when I was 18. So all of this got all messed up and stuff, and that's okay, that's fine. I've made my peace with it, but I hope you find your happy. You know, I hope you get your happy, and you don't have to give somebody else something to make yourself fulfilled. Not conforming to my own identity and being able to live who I wanted to be and kind of being, you know, uncomfortable for a long period of time to where I finally got to a place in life where I could be who I wanted to be and be who exactly I am. I do regret that I didn't do it sooner because I had a free feeling when I became the person that I wanted to be. Do I have to struggle? Yeah, I have to struggle every single day. I go out and put my gas in the car. I have people coming up to me like, what's up? Why are you looking like a man? They're telling my partner you want to be with a man because your partner looks like a man? No.
Yeah.
Under all of this, there's all woman, okay?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, being a woman is awesome, and I hate that we all had to apologize for being who we were.
I believe some of this does come with age, but also I had a really amazing mom who is no longer with us. So now I get emotional, right? But who really taught me to stand in like who I am. That there is no like, if you want to wear jeans and a flannel shirt, you can. If you want to wear a dress and heels, you can. Not that I didn't face traditional pressure, but I always had inside of me that thing that said, but no, I'm supposed to just be me.
Yeah.
This is like really about, I don't know, at least I'm picking up like our moms. First of all, so jealous. Your mother sounds like someone from a dream, because I'm like, wow, the way you talk about loving her and everything, I'm like, I literally just have images of my mother looking at me with like the most disgust in her face. But I'm standing here at the summer degree because I for sure have apologized for merely existing, which I did not decide. You know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't decide that, but life breaking me open has pushed me to like this. I'm trying to get to that point of being like, I have to be my own mom, which sucks a lot of times. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like self-pity sometimes, but I am trying to build that voice within myself of like, literally the only person who suffers from me not being myself is me. And the more I continue trying to like bend my back to make y'all comfortable when I'm sitting here miserable, like my aura is going down, and we're not about to have that. Like, it's 2025, we going up.
Have you ever heard of motherhood wounds, I think it's called?
Oh, baby, they're deep with me.
I feel like more light should be put onto that, because I recently learned about that like, what, a year or two ago about it. Because I was just like, you know, me and my mom's relationship, me and my mom, and I feel like we do forget that the first woman to see is our mother, unless you know you're adopted X, Y, and Z, but it's that initial person. And again, if you're not filling your cup as a mom, your kids' cups are gonna be like not as full as well. And again, as a woman, we wanna be almighty, we can do it, and not even notice that our train is running out of fuel, you know? And so I feel like if we were able to speak about mother wounds more, then it could calculate for us, okay, where is this coming from? Maybe this is being triggered from this, maybe this is that. And you know, you can find a way to not think that way.
To
but
find
it's very
peace.
yeah, find peace.
I was in strongly agree first because I guess I have felt awkward in some circumstances of how I have carried myself. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Very straightforward. I like this, I don't like you, whatever, like that's how we are. And then you come out here where everything is so transactional. Someone's trying to read you. Can you do something good for my career? Oh, you can't, bye-bye. It's just as soon as you like stand up for something and say something, you're a bitch. But if you don't say anything, then you're a pushover. It's literally a lose-lose situation. So no, I don't think I've ever apologized for like being myself, but I've definitely like lost people who can't handle it and who want those people who lie to their faces.
I guess for me, internally, it's hard for me to feel that celebration for myself, because I am pretty hard on myself. Where it's to the point where my therapist has to tell me like, you know, Severy, it's okay to give yourself a pat on the back. It's okay to tell yourself that you're doing good.
But, you know, I guess like I don't think I felt truly celebrated because I had to do a lot of things with life and just make sure that everybody else felt special. I don't think I've had a moment where I've truly felt special in a long time.
I'm really trying to pave a path now, like finding my own support system that will help celebrate me. I am slowly becoming like my own biggest like hype man, you know, and I just keep asking like universe, like bring in my soul tribe, bring in my family, like not my biological family, because things are weird, but like family doesn't always have to be biological, you know? So yeah, I'm staying optimistic and positive.
Oh my God.